Genesis 22. I read from the Institute for Scripture Research, because it takes a direct translation from Hebrew to English, Greek to English, and Aramaic to English. Excuse me. Genesis 22. And it came to be after these events that Elohim tried Abraham and said to him, Abraham, and he said, Here I am. And he said, Take your son now, your only son Yitzchak, whom you love, and go to the land of Moriah, Moriah, and offer him there as an ascending offering on one of the mountains which I command you. He's telling him to sacrifice his only son. Sound familiar? And Abraham rose early in the morning and saddled his donkey and took two of his young men with him and Yitzchak his son, and he split the wood of the ascending offering and arose and went to the place which Elohim had commanded him. And on the third day Abraham lifted his eyes and saw the place from a distance. And Abraham said to his young men, Stay here with the donkey while the boy and I go over there and worship and come back to you. And Abraham took the wood of the ascending offering and laid it on Yitzchak his son, and he took the fire in his hand and a knife, and the two of them went together. Oh, I thought he was sacrificing him right there. I'm like, I'm pretty sure there's more to the story. Okay, so he laid it on him. So he put it on his back or something like that. I'm assuming they had rope, things to tie the wood up. That makes sense. And it wouldn't be like these big giant logs. That doesn't really make much sense. Or they could have laid it on his arms, and just had his arms full. Jump off this. Thank you. Anyways, and the two of them went together, and Yitzchak spoke to Abraham his father and said, My father. And he said, Here I am, my son. And he said, See the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb of an ascending offering? And Abraham said, My son Elohim does provide for himself the lamb of an ascending offering. The two of them went together, and they came to the place which Elohim had commanded him. And Abraham built a slaughter place there, and placed the wood in order, and he bound Yitzchak his son and laid him on the slaughter place upon the wood. And Abraham stretched out his hand and took the knife to slay his son. But the messenger of Yah called to him from the heavens and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said to him, Here I am. And he said, Do not lay your hand on the boy nor touch him, for now I know that you fear Elohim, seeing you have not withheld your son, your only son, from me. And Abraham lifted his eyes and looked, and saw behind him a ram caught in a bush by its horns. And Abraham went and took the ram and offered it up for an ascending offering instead of his son. And Abraham called the name of the place Yireh, Yireh, as it is said to this day. Excuse me. Got some phlegm building up in there. On the mountain Yah provides, is what that means. And the messenger of Yah called to Abraham a second time from the heavens and said, By myself I have sworn, declares Yah, because I have done this and have not withheld your son, your only son, and I shall certainly bless you, and I shall certainly increase your seed as the stars of the heavens, excuse me, and as the sand which is on the seashore. And let your seed possess the gate of their enemies, and in your seed all the nations of the earth shall be blessed, because you have obeyed my voice. Then Abraham returned to his young men, and they rose up and went together to Beersheba, and Abraham dwelt in Beersheba. And it came to be after these events that it was reported to Abraham, saying, See, Milcah, Milkah, excuse me, 2 has borne children to your brother Nahor, Uts, his firstborn, and Buz his brother, and Qemel, Qemu, a apostrophe E with a half a check mark on top of it, El, the father of Aram, and Kesed, Kesed with a line underneath of the D, and Hayos. Excuse me. Suddenly I can't breathe. What the heck's going on? And and Hazo, H with a line underneath of it, not a line underneath it, it's a dot underneath of it, Azo, and Pildash, and Yidlaf, Yid with a line underneath of the D, Laph, and Bethuel, Bethu apostrophe E with a half a check mark on it, and L. Holy, excuse me. And Bethuel brought forth Ribkah, Rib with a line underneath of it, Qah. These 8 Milcah bore to Nahor, Abraham's brother, and his concubine, so his whore, for a whore for sale, and his concubine, whose name was, I can't imagine him having a concubine. Alright, whose name was Reuma, R-E, excuse me, R-E apostrophe U-W-M-A-H, also bore Teba and Gaham, G-A-H with a dot underneath of it, A-M, and Tahash and Micah, M-A apostrophe A-K with a line underneath of it, A-L.